fans. You may have recognized that I'm quite a fan of game cartridges, or cartridges at all, and I have collected a lot of cartridges over the last 2 years, and I'm especially looking for cartridges which are kind of, well, not rare in a sense of hard to get, but let's say a bit unusual, and this is basically down to the case, for example, or they contain some games which are not so common or something like this. And in today's live session, I like to test a couple of cartridges on the Ultimate64 with an ARM2SID equipped and most recent firmware, just to see if all of those cartridges are working and if we're going to have some fun with it, basically. So, and as a very first thing, I have changed my layout a little bit, as you can see, and I'm testing this Donkey Kong cartridge, which is indeed not an official Nintendo product. It is just built in a way that it looks like some, and this is a kind of a recreation of the original Donkey Kong, but not the conversion we have seen on the C64 somewhere in the mid-80s. It is really something that has been produced very recently, so I think it's not older than 2 or 3 years right now, and it is a very good conversion, and we will have a test if this is going to work. I just remembered that either the Donkey Kong or the Donkey Kong Jr. wasn't working on the Ultimate64 with one of the older firmwares, so I'm really looking forward whether this has changed. So, and I'm not a really good Donkey Kong player. I tested it a couple of times, as you can see in the high score. So I'm going to have a hard time to reach perhaps level 3 or something like this, but let's see how this is going to work. I think the purpose of this recreation was that it almost runs the original code, or at least to reproduce the original as best as possible. And if you may know the original C64 version, you may recognize that this looks indeed much better. So we made it to the second level, and here I think we have to go over those kind of, I don't know what we want to call this. We're almost there. Damn it! I was too close to it. Was just one missing. Ah, damn. Forgot to jump. I really hope that I manage to get through this level. I'm not going to risk this. Not jumping far enough. So I think we run out of life. Oh no, we just have one life left, so very nice. Can start another attempt. Just have to remember that we have to get this one as well. Phew, this was close. We may squish some. I think I can jump. And I can't climb a ladder with this sledgehammer in my hand. No! I think one attempt and then we may move on to the next game. Oh, there's someone in the live chat. I think it's Marco from Italy. Hello, thanks for joining. Not really sure whether the hammer's worth the trouble you get with it. Stops in the very wrong moment. So let's skip the hammer this time. Oh, not as good as the first attempt, but at least we made it. The flawless level 1, not that bad. Thank you very much. Well, let's try something different. Let's see whether we can walk through the different stories from one side to the other. Ah, jumping wasn't so good. Another one, yes! This was close. And just another one. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, we have to start from the first level. Oh. Ah, damn it. Not again. No. Ah. Looks like I need a different technique for this one. So we may wait a little bit and then should have a chance to jump over it. Ooh. Too many barrels for me. Game over. Well, I wasn't able to get to the third level, but at least I made some kind of a new high score. It's not really something to talk about, but anyway. Your name was registered. Oh. Not really proud of this, so let's move on to the next one, and this is going to be Donkey Kong Jr. Oops. Press fire. Black screen. Here it is. Standard, advanced, expert. Well, I definitely go for standard. So I just remember that this had a very strange climbing. Oh. Not too bad. I missed just a fruit, but I made it to the top. Oh, I think this was a hard one. Oh no! Ah! Jump! So, what was the trick now? May have to drop and then we have to jump. Yes. Okay. Hopefully there's no egg falling down. Damn it. Too early. No. Not so good. Not so good. I think it's game over. Well, anyway. I'm not sure whether I'm going to test it again. Let's try one round. Oh, this was close. Hui. And once again. Egg is coming. No, can't jump that far. So far so good. Now we have to reach the other side. Here we go. Oh, I missed the build. Oh. Ah, damn. I thought it's a low build, not a high build. Well, anyway, game over. Then let's move on to the next game. And this is going to be another very old cartridge. And I have to say, I was looking for this cartridge for a very, very long time. I've played the game somewhere in the early 90s. And I got this later as a disc version, and Pang on the C64 as a disc version is really not playable because it is just loading time, and as a cartridge version this is a whole different game, and I'm really happy that I was able to get this somewhere in the last year, I think. And let's see how this is going to play. I have to admit the Pang conversion for the C64 is not the best looking one. So if you look at Pang for the Commodore Amiga, for example, it looks much more awesome. The C64 version is indeed a bit simple, but at least it is a Pang on the C64. And since we are C64 fans, we want to play Pang on the C64, but it looks like it's not working. Damn. So we may found one cartridge that is not working on the C64 Ultimate 64. Nope. Let's see whether it's a connection problem perhaps. Some contacts are a bit corroded or so, but basically it looks fine. Blue screen, something different. Nope, nope, nope. But we got a different behavior, so we may have some contact issues. Nope, won't work. So perhaps I have to test this on a real C64 to see whether perhaps the cartridge has some problems or if it's really some Ultimate 64 problem. Then let's move on to Defender. I have actually not really a clue what this game is all about, but this is a very early cartridge as well, 1983, and it has this kind of unique Atari style with those two, how we want to call this, I don't know. And you may know that, for example, Moon Patrol or Jungle Hunt, they are made in the very same way. And I really like those cartridge format because they are kind of small. And as I said, I really like cartridges which are a bit unique. So let's see what Defender is all about. So it is starting. That's a good thing at all. And let's see. Are we going to need joystick 1 or 2? Ah, okay. This is some very early version of Drop Zone. Do we have to collect those guys? Probably not. Maybe we just have to protect them. Oh, they got me. They got me. So beside the fact that Drop Zone looks much better than Defender, it is a very interesting gameplay because it is very smooth, very responsive. Oh! I should have spent some time watching the radar screen. So basically I think this is more of a joystick game, but I'm a bit too lazy to connect the joystick to my Ultimate 64 right now, so we have to go for this one. They keep reappearing. Oh, I killed the guy. I'm sorry. I think this is what the military calls collateral damage. So I'm trying to improve. He looks angry, and he got me. Oh, now we got some stress. Attack wave 2 completed. Well, not too bad. We got some mines as well, or some bombs. So perhaps we can use the space key to launch them. So if we rescue one of our guys, he drops to the ground, plain dead. Oops. So we may have to... Ah, damn it. Too slow. We may have to catch them in air. Game over. Well, okay. Looks like a nice game if you spend some time, but I really have to say I prefer Drop Zone. Unfortunately, Drop Zone is not available as cartridge. It was just available as tape and as disc version. But anyway, Defender is indeed a nice thing as well. So I was going to shut down my C64, then let's do it this way. And move on to the next one, and this is going to be Choplifter. And Choplifter has quite some kind of a story, because there was a funny, let's say, kind of situation in the firmware. Somebody was looking for a game that is related to some kind of helicopter rescuing some people. And a couple of people already mentioned Choplifter, but the guy was kind of ignoring the advice or something like this. And now it became some kind of a running gag every time we have some questions about unknown games, or every time we have some poll about a certain topic, people include Choplifter as an option. And so I thought I really have to get this game, and indeed as a cartridge version. And the nice thing is that this, well, chopper has some kind of anti-aliasing effect around the sprite. So I think we have to change the joystick port. So it looks not as blocky as we may notice from the C64. And you may notice that it has some kind of a bluish and reddish aura around it. And this makes this game indeed a bit interesting technical wise. And it is a little bit hard to play as well. And the mission is we have to rescue our guys from this whatever area without getting shot by the tank. Seven. Oh! Let's see whether we can get the last one. Oops. Ah. Was either me or the tank. So let's get those 7 guys back to the base. And then the game suddenly becomes much harder, because we got some air resistance as well. And there it is. Ah, damn it. The strange thing is that at the very beginning we have this kind of border, and this border is showing a very nice parallax scrolling effect, which isn't used again in the whole game, so it is just visible at the very beginning. And damn, I still haven't figured out how to handle this spider, but must be possible, I think. Oh, I think I dropped it. The end. Well, another attempt. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hurry up, guys! Hurry up! So let's see whether we can get another wave. Damn, he got me, he got me. There must be some trick to avoid this spider. Maybe if we fly backwards and just shoot them. No, it isn't working. It's the same height, and then he's just shooting at me. And the distance is just too close to react. Well, I think one last attempt. I was watching kind of a walkthrough or long play video about Choplifter on YouTube, and the guy had absolutely no problems with this jet, but well, I can't figure out how to handle it. Let's see whether we can get rid of the tank. Eight guys, so far so good. Oh, we survived. And again. Ooh, the tanks are coming. I think that is indeed not a good idea. Okay, let's see whether we can get home. Ooh. Back to safe territory. Oh, at least the second wave makes some progress, but I think it's not getting easier. What's that? Some kind of alien or so. Ooh, this was close. This was very close. So we may have to handle the tank first, or Ah, he got us. He got us. And I think it's game over. Second sortie. Now we got another chance. Okay. Let's see whether we can get some of our guys back. Strange alien. Another one. One. I got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. Can't get up. Ah. So basically, if we're going to be under attack by this strange reddish thingy, we have to get up early and try to kill it. Oh, I flew directly into it. Wasn't able to turn the chopper. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. And this is going to be, I think it's called Gyrus. And this is another arcade conversion. And this cartridge was made by Parker Brothers. And it has indeed a very unique shape as well. And I very much like the game. It is basically, well, very close to the original version. Indeed, it is not as nice as on the arcade machine, and the sound is a bit simpler, but basically it is very close to it. And if you have a joystick or a gamepad with an auto fire option, it is kind of unfair easy to play. So with a couple of attempts, it is doable to go through the whole game, and then it simply repeats, so there is no real end of it. So let's see. Oh, wrong joystick. Made it through the first wave. Oh! I haven't seen this one. Now we lost the power up, so let's see whether we can get this back. Challenging stage. Got all of them. So as you can see, it is really not very difficult. especially if we use an auto fire. And on the real arcade machine there was no auto fire, so you really had to hammer the buttons all the time, and this is going to be a bit stressful for the fingers. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. Oh, damn it. Last chance, I think. Oh. Game over. That's very sorry. This is indeed not so good. But that's the chance to move on to the last cartridge for the day. Just have to check something briefly. Back in a second. And yes, this is going to be a Zone Ranger. I have kind of presented this in one of my earlier videos. In some kind of a unboxing, I have received some stuff episode. And this is a very strange game, but a very interesting game as well. And as you can see, it has a very unique cartridge as well. The label is not as new as we may like to have it, but anyway, it still looks very interesting, and it took me quite a while to figure out that this is some kind of a helmet with some white-black contrast. And well, let's have a look at the game, whether it works and how it looks like. So, last one for the day. Loading Zone Ranger 1984. So an interesting thing is that it starts pretty easy, and then you have some kind of warp points where you can jump to higher levels, and then it becomes very, very hard to play. And actually I think it will take me a moment to figure out how we have to control this and how we have to start this. Okay. So the main goal is to shoot this kind of a laser cannons here. And at the very beginning, as long as the laser is green, they do not hurt us, but later levels they turn red, and then we really have to avoid them. And the controls are a bit difficult because we have to kind of burst to change the direction. And I think this is some kind of warp level or warp point. Let's test this. Oh no, we just jump in between some points in this level. And indeed you have to avoid hitting those laser installations, or whatever we want to call this. And the asteroids to be avoided as well. And I'm actually not sure whether those white blinky thingies are some kind of a bonus? Yes, I think it's now we are invincible for a short moment of time. Let's see whether we can finish at least one level. I have no idea what this is. So, and as long as we can see those green laser beams, we know that there is still something left. And if you just follow the direction where they come from, you will basically end up at the point where they started. So I assume there are just one or two left now. And we're already running out of time. And we hit it. Damn it. What happened? Ah, we ran out of time. So the good thing is now we got enough time to find the reminders. Where's the last one? Perhaps there. There's still one left. Where is it? Oops. We completed the first level. And one thing I missed, I wasn't able to find this. There is some kind of a bonus area inside the level. So let's see if we can find it now. It's not the one I'm looking for. Nope. There it is. There it is. And this is much stranger because now we have to go through this and collect points without hitting the walls. I mean, we are not going to die if we hit the wall, but we kind of bump off, and this makes the control of the ship very hard. And I'm not even sure whether this makes so much sense, because it takes a lot of time to go through this labyrinth. And you may earn some points, but I'm not sure if this is really the best strategy. But it's an interesting part as well, which is indeed a bit unexpected. Oops. And with this little, whatever it is, you can jump out of this bonus section without completing it. And continue shooting the lasers. And I remember there was an additional whatever warp zone or so, where you were able to jump to higher levels, and then it becomes really hard to finish. So I thought it looks quite simple at the beginning. It has indeed some depth. And the controls are not very easy. Perhaps it's a bit easier with joystick. Still some life left. Okay, let's see. Perhaps maybe we can finish this one. Comes a bit busy now. And we're running out of time again. Ah. Mission terminated. Well, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you had some fun watching me playing games in a not so very skilled manner, but basically I was really looking to see whether those cartridges are working on the Ultimate64 with the most recent firmware. And we had some chance to listen to the ARM 2 SID emulation, SID replacement device, and basically I'm very happy with the results so far. It's really a fantastic device, and yeah, that's basically all for this live session today. Thank you very much for joining, thank you very much for watching, and see you for the next episode. I just see that there are some more comments. I was pretty impressed with the VIC-20 version of Choplifter. It looked really good for the system. Oh, looks like I have to check this one. I never seen this one. I wasn't even aware that Choplifter is available for the VIC-20. So I remember well Defender, like it a lot, lots of memories. Okay, so as I said, thank you very much for watching, thank you very much for joining, and see you for the next episode. Have some fun, and bye bye.